That's right, because it's easy to say, oh, yep, I'm going to exercise while I watch TV. And it's even easier to sit down, get sucked into that Netflix series, and then the next thing you know, you're asleep on the couch and you forgot to exercise. So, solve it.
Finally, get back to a life with exercise. And this is your first step. We're going to start getting you moving. I'm Lindbergh, your bad couch guru.
Hello, this is your bad couch guru, Lindbergh. I'm the one who believes that exercise should never be dreadful for any of us, but we know getting off the couch is the hardest thing of all. Before we jump right into today's lesson on remembering to exercise, I am going to give a shout out to Regina from Virginia. Regina won our book giveaway contest. A couple weeks ago, we had an episode by the author of Body Kindness, Rebecca Scritchfield. And part of that, I had a book giveaway to one person. We would select from letters that came in from that podcast. And Regina from Virginia, you not only wrote me a note that said what you learned about it, but Regina wrote me a list of her top 10 points she learned during the podcast. So in rapid fire, here they are. Number 1, exercise doesn't have to hurt to be productive. 2, I need to practice self-compassion during my workouts. 3, I learned the term weight cycling. That's exactly what I had been doing. 4, rapid weight loss leads to rapid weight gain in the diet mentality. 5, healing my relationship with food is doable. I can honor my urges and intense cravings. Breathing and regulation is the key. Do I want sweet or do I need something more emotional? I can always have the cupcake, but do I really want it now? Be kind. 6, weight stigma. Wow, I have lived with this my whole life. 7, weighing myself every day is depressing, and it was good to learn that this was part of the diet culture. 8, I need to learn to feel more confident around food, not guilty. 9, I need to notice some kind things about myself. And 10, I loved people eat food, not sodium. This hit home. It's not about restricting this or that. It's about learning about food, and restricting leads to problems. Regina also goes on to say, thank you so much for your resources as well. I'm just beginning my journey with you. I love what I'm hearing. Now I need to work at implementing all these new ideas. So Regina, thank you very much for that. You were the winner because you had such a fabulous letter sent to us. So listen on future podcasts for maybe future opportunities to win some resources. Alrighty now, on to our lesson about remembering it. First of all, I'm going to call something out on you all, y'all. And the reason I can is because it's me too. I'm right there with you sometimes. And that is, do you ever get to the end of your day, you lay down in bed and you think, oh my gosh, I actually flat out just forgot to exercise. I meant to, I wanted to, but the day blew by, or this or that came up, or I just didn't prepare. I completely forgot. Remembering to exercise, just remembering to do it, is sometimes one of our biggest barriers. And this, I know, sounds so simple, and it sounds like we shouldn't even have a podcast dedicated to this topic, but holy moly, it's a real reality for it. So this is what we're going to do this week. First of all, pause for a minute and ask yourself this question. How do you remember to do things today? How do you remember? I know we remember to eat because we're hungry. Some people say you remember to brush your teeth out of habit. I don't know. I remember to brush my teeth because they feel gross. Okay. We remember to take care of our kids because they're right there in front of us, screaming at us if we need something. We remember to pay our bills because they come to us and there's reminders. We remember to go to meetings because they're in some kind of a calendar or an organizer. But there's nothing about exercise much of the time that's screaming at us or standing in front of us, reminding us we need to do this. Without those triggers, without those things in front of us to help us to remember to exercise, it is so easy to forget, especially right now when exercise is not part of the normal culture. So again, ask yourself, how do you remember to do things today? What are all the different ways you remember to do things? How do you remember to do the dishes? How do you remember to go to the grocery store? How do you remember to call your mom on Mother's Day? All right. What works the best for you? And get massively creative and start putting together a method or a way of how to remember to exercise that works for you. And this is going to look different for everybody. I don't want you to look to me and have me tell you the best way to remember to exercise. I want you to figure out what is the best way for you to remember to exercise. One of the things that I do when life gets really crazy is I have a pad of sticky notes that's dedicated to my exercise plan for that day. And the reason it's only for that day is because this is when life is so crazy. I really, truly have a difficult time planning a full week of exercise. So in the morning, will look at that sticky note and I'll write down what exercise I'm going to do for the day. I'll write down when I'm going to do it. And I'll write down how I will remember to do the exercise. And then I take that sticky note and I put it somewhere that's super duper obvious for me. So that could be the refrigerator, that could be the bathroom mirror, that could be the steering wheel of my car, whatever makes the most sense for me. And that will help me remember the commitment I made to myself that day to get it done. So sticky notes is one idea. Maybe you travel to work every day and you promise yourself you're going to spend half of your lunch break doing some exercise, or you're going to go for a walk before you head home after work. So one way for you to remember is to stick a note in your lunch. Obviously, this only works if you are taking your lunch to work and if you have the ability during your work to take some time to exercise. So lunch note, that's another way. Phone alarm. You can set a timer on your phone. You can set an alarm clock on your phone. You can set a calendar invite on your phone. Use those to remind you. And if at the beginning you need to create 3 reminders, one is this is your reminder. 2 is no, I'm not kidding, you really are going to do this exercise reminder. And 3 is get your butt off the couch, no more excuses reminder. 2, whatever it takes, whatever makes you smile. Are you thinking of ways now that you can help yourself remember to exercise? Another way that I've done is I'll set up a gym bag. If my exercise is at the gym, I'll set up that whole gym bag and I'll put it in my car the night before I leave for work. It'll be right there in front of me. I will take that gym bag with me into work if the gym is at work, or I will leave that gym bag in an obvious spot. So when after work, I will take it with me and will remind myself, no excuses. This is what I want to do. This is what will make me smile. And I make myself go, knowing that I'll be really glad I did once I get there. And one more. You all know by now, I'm a pretty big fan of doing some exercise in front of the TV. I do a lot of my weights and most of my stretching in front of the television. And my balance work, remember that? Stand on one foot, stand on the other foot. For you, maybe this is what you want to try. Put a note on your television or your remote control that reminds you that you are going to exercise during the first show that you watched tonight. That's right, because it's easy to say, oh, yep, I'm going to exercise while I watch TV. And it's even easier to sit down, get sucked into that Netflix series, and then the next thing you know, you're asleep on the couch and you forgot to exercise. So solve it. Put a note somewhere so you can remember. And one last one is possibly you need to go old school and print out a tracker where you plan what exercises you're going to do for a whole week. You put that tracker on the fridge, kitchen counter, office desk, anywhere that makes sense for you, and you keep track of the exercise you did for the day. In the show notes today will be a link to where you can download some really simple, fun, whimsical trackers that I have for folks. And they are simple and they are fun. They're designed to make you smile. And you're welcome to use any of those. Just print one of those and start tracking for a week to see if that helps you stay motivated to not skip days. You can find that at couchedactive.com/2525. So, my friends, I know you want to exercise more, and I know you are committed to your health and to doing what it takes for you to get there. I know this because you're here listening to this and really aiming to make this a priority for you. That alone puts you ahead of the pack. That's fantastic. Don't lose sight of it. Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself lots of compassion through all of this. If you're injured or you have an illness that's truly holding you back, do what you can and give yourself compassion for the rest. Because if you don't have an injury or you don't have an illness, you will someday, don't worry. And then you'll be right there with the rest of us living the reality of the game called life. So here's your homework for today's podcast. I want you to pause. Ask yourself, how do you remember to get things done today? Then ask yourself, can any of those ways that you remember things to get them done be ways that you could also use to help you exercise? And then finally, head over to couchedactive.com/2525 and check out the fun trackers. See if those could help keep you motivated. Alrighty, friends, that is it. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's yet again one more way that costs no money at all for you to get more consistent with your exercise and living a life you love. Have yourself a great rest of your week, friends, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks for listening to the Couch to Active podcast, where I believe that exercise should not be dreadful, but getting off the couch is the hardest thing we do. Bye-bye now.